rejects Allah's guidance will never find guidance. I bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship other than Allah, alone without any partners, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his servant and messenger. My dear brothers and sisters, please know that if I say anything true or beneficial, that it comes from Allah. For all truth and benefit come from Him. And if I say anything false or detrimental, then know that it comes from me, for I'm human and I'm prone to error. It is my pleasure and my honor to be giving the khutbah to you today. We're going to talk about an unusual topic. It's a topic that we can get a lot of benefit from, about our own faith. And that topic is shirk. Right? Polytheism. The worst sin you can commit is to believe in more than one God. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And there's a lot of wisdom in it. I know that's a strange phrase, right? Keep me until the end of the khutbah. It's a strange phrase, but there is a lot of wisdom in us as people of faith, as people of tawheed, as people who believe in one God, in shirk. Okay, so let's talk about shirk, and then we're going to draw some lessons from shirk. So the original faith, the original religion was what? It was Islam. Allah created Sayyidina Adam, salam. Sayyidina Adam was a monotheist. He was a prophet. And he was brought down to earth. And so the only option was Tawheed. The only option was Islam. When I say Islam throughout this khutbah, I mean Islam with a lowercase I. Right? Islam generally. Tawheed, believing in one God. Not necessarily Islam that brought down by the Prophet Muhammad. I'm talking more generally today, right? Lowercase Islam. So the only option at the beginning was Islam. So everyone who believed in God believed in Tawheed. And there was no other belief system available. But over time, a few different types of shirk evolved. And these happen very, very slowly. And I want to talk about some of these types now. The first types of shirk was anything that could harm you or benefit you, we made into a god. Okay? Anything that can harm you or benefit you became a god. So for example, a very common one was rain. If you wanted rain, you would make a rain god and you would pray to the rain god. You'd make a sacrifice to the rain god so that you could get rain. You would make a mountain god. Why would you pray to a mountain? A mountain can provide a lot of security from invading armies. It's not an issue now, but you have to put yourself in the mindset of people 1,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago. A mountain provided a lot of value. Wind. There was a wind god, because when you're traveling by boat, you're out in the middle of the ocean, all of a sudden there's no wind, you realize just how valuable wind is. It's not just a nice cool breeze. No, it's a matter of life and death. The sun, there was a sun god. You know, the sun, it's a big bright ball in the sky. There was a sun god. They made animals into gods. There was a cow god. When the Israelites, when Sayyidina Musa saved them from Fir'aun, and they parted the Red Sea, what did they make a golden version of? A golden cow. There's a lot of benefit in cows. Their meat tastes great. The milk, right? There's a lot of benefit in us from cows. But also things that would harm us. So snakes. Snake bites you, you're going to die. They didn't have antidotes back then. So you make a snake god, you pray to the snake god, you make a sacrifice, and hopefully the snakes are less inclined to bite you. That was their thinking. So that was one type of shirk. The things that could harm us or benefit us, we're going to make them into gods and idols and pray to them and make sacrifices to them. That was one type of shirk. There was another type of shirk. Remember, all of these came from Islam because there was only Islam at the beginning. And the other type of shirk was what I call a holy bureaucracy. There are levels of gods, and there are different categories of gods. And there are people that are close to God. which is not entirely untrue. Even as Muslims, we believe that there are some angels that are very close to God, like Sayyidina Jibreel, right? That's in the unseen world. In the seen world, we also have it. Who are those closest to God? It's the prophets, peace be upon them all, right? They communicate with God, either directly or through Sayyidina Jibreel. And then those prophets have companions. The companions are very close to God because they were living during the time of a prophet. Then at-tabi'een, the followers, like the next generation. They may not have seen the Prophet, ﷺ, or a prophet, but they lived amongst his companions. So they had a very good point of reference as to what it means to be a righteous person. So in the seen world, we have layers. We have those that are closer to God than others. Same thing in the unseen world. You have some angels that are very high up, that are very close to God, and you have some that are lower down. And so over time, the focus shifted away from Allah, and it shifted towards those that were close to Allah. Allah is so high. He's so far away. He has no time for me. Who am I? But if I can get in good with this angel, right, or this little God, this God of rain or God of war or whatever, if I can get in good with this lower God, they've got the wasta, they've got the connection, they got the hookup with the higher gods, right? Maybe they'll put in a good word for me. And this is what happened over time. They started worshiping angels. They started worshiping these lower gods. With our Christian brothers and sisters, Ahl Kitab, they started worshiping Sayyidina Isa, ﷺ, right? They made him into a god. It was an extension of this line of thinking. Get in good with those that are lower down, and they will help you with those that are higher up. Let me give you some practical, real-world analogies. You're at work, and something happens at work. You get in a little bit of trouble at work. Okay? Your work, there's you, there's your immediate supervisor, that person has a boss, and then there's the head of the department, and then there's the vice president, and then there's the CEO, and then there's the board of directors. When you get in trouble, when there's an issue, when something happens, who do you deal with? You just deal with your supervisor. And maybe the HR guy. Or the HR gal. It's 2025, right? So you just need to give a good reason, a good excuse to your immediate supervisor or the HR guy or gal, right? And then they will put in a good word for you with those higher up. They'll say, oh, you know what, we talked to some people that were there, and this is what actually happened, and taught it, he's all right. He didn't actually do anything. You don't get a call from the CEO yourself. You don't interact with the board of directors. You just deal with your supervisor and the HR guy or gal. And that was their thinking. I know it seems silly, right? But you got to put yourself in the state of mind of someone 1,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago. This was their thinking. I'm going to get in good with these lower angels because they're close to me. They're lower down in the holy bureaucracy. And if I just get in good with them, they're going to take care of me higher up. Let me give you just one more analogy. You're driving, you have a lead foot, and a cop pulls you over because you were speeding. Right? So there's the police officer. The police officer has his supervisor, and his supervisor has the sheriff. Then the sheriff reports to the commissioner of police. The commissioner reports to the mayor reports to the governor, right? There's a hierarchy. But when you get pulled over, the governor doesn't call you up and say, Fatima, I heard you got a lead foot. You were going 70 in 50-mile-an-hour zone. That's not what happened. You just have to worry about that police officer, and if you can convince the police officer to let you go, you're okay. Officer, I'm always so busy at work. My son has a soccer game. I'm late for the game, and if I miss that game, he's going to be so disappointed. He's going to be so disappointed because I rarely get to go. That's why I was speeding. I'm really sorry. Can you just give me a warning? and they let you off with a warning. You didn't have to deal with the commissioner of police. You just had to worry about that police officer. That was their thinking. It seems silly, right? But that was their thinking. Because their issue, like I said, Allah is so high up. He's so far away. I have this immediate problem. I need rain for my crop. And if I can just get in good with the God of rain, I'm all right. I'll let the God of rain deal with the bureaucracy. I just want rain and I need it in the next week, or else my crop is going to die. Put yourself in the mindset of people 1,000 years ago. If one crop, one season goes bad, people start to die right away. There's starvation. You can't import food from wherever. You can't go to Costco and stock up, right? If you go for too long without rain, people start dying right away. It was life or death back then, and so they needed immediate results, and that was their thinking. And by the way, most polytheistic systems believed in a single highest deity. So, for example, many of the mushrikeen, many of the polytheists in Mecca believed in Allah. They believed that Allah was the highest God. The problem is that they believed in layers of gods. So they believed in a single highest deity. Even, for example, the Greeks, right? Who was their supreme god? They had Zeus. They had other gods, but Zeus was the top dog. So even amongst polytheists, you will still have a single highest being. Angels, they also worship angels. The ancient Arabs, they placed a big emphasis on angels. They thought that the angels were the daughters of Allah. And they started worshiping angels. Why? It's along the same logic as what I had just said, because they believed that angels were close to Allah, which is not entirely untrue. Remember, polytheism didn't come out of nowhere. Polytheism came out of monotheism. So there is truth to that. Even as Muslims, we believe that there's a hierarchy of angels, and there are different angels assigned to different tasks. So Sayyidina Jibreel, he's the archangel, right? He's the head angel. What's his job? Well, we know that one of them is to deliver revelation. That's an important job. He's the only one. You have an angel on each shoulder writing down everything you do and everything that you don't do. We know that angels deliver rizq. They deliver blessings. Whatever you're entitled to of this world, an angel comes and delivers it. Maybe an angel delivers rain and wind. Allahu A'lam, right? We don't know everything about the unseen world. There's an angel that delivers death. Malak al-Maut. He doesn't have a name. We just know him as the angel of death. There is an angel who will blow the trumpet that will start the day of judgment. وَنُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ. And he blew into the trumpet. The Prophet ﷺ said, I saw him. His lips were like puckered up. He's ready. He's just waiting for the signal to blow the trumpet to begin Judgment Day. And that angel is Israfil. He's one of the high-level angels. Allah created angels that just make dua for believers. May Allah make us amongst those people that the angels are making dua for. So there's truth to the polytheists' logic. There is a hierarchy of angels. There are angels assigned to do different tasks, right? That part is true. Problem is that they put the focus on the angels and they stopped worshiping Allah directly. Let me worship these different angels depending on what I need. Make a sacrifice to this angel or pray to that angel. And that's how they evolved. That's how polytheism evolved. The problem is when you remove Allah from the equation and you just focus on the angels. You just focus on these lower gods. The god of mountains, the god of wind. You just need to make them happy and you'll get what you need. This was the slow corruption of Islam. This was the slow corruption of Tawheed over time. And most polytheistic belief systems, if you go back far enough, you will find Tawheed. You will find Islam. Buddhism, it's about 2,500 years old, right? Buddhists believe in many things. So they believe in multiple gods. They also have ancestor worship. But they also believe in Shangdi. Shang means highest, Di means God. So it's the highest God. As Muslims, what do we say? Subhan Rabbi al-A'la. Praise be to Allah, the highest. And they call Shangdi the highest God. You see how there's an overlap? So they have lower gods, but they also have a single highest supreme God. And this is a reflection, perhaps, of the Islam that existed in that part of the world at some point in time. So this is the view given by Islam, by the Quran. We are taught that religion originally was just Tawheed. There was just Islam. Because there was only Sayyidina Adam, and he only believed in one God. It was the only option. But over time, faith gets corrupted. And it became many, many things. And Allah would send new messengers to update and to redirect people. But then that would also get corrupted over time. So these are the origins of polytheism. This is why. And as you can see, it didn't come out of nowhere. And there is some truth, there is some logic to some of what they believe. Ultimately, it's wrong because they took Allah out of the equation for all practical purposes. And that's really where they went astray. So this is the history lesson about polytheism. Id'u ila Allah yaghfir lakum dhunubakum. Supplicate to Allah to forgive your sins. So what can we learn? Remember, I started the khutbah. I said, as believers, as people of faith, there is something that we can learn from shirk. Right? From the worst sin imaginable, there is something that we can benefit. There is a lesson for us to take from all of this. If you peel back the layers of shirk, there is something underneath it. I mean, yes, there's the multiple gods and worshiping middlemen and middle angels and things of that nature, yes. But if you peel that back, there's something else underneath there. And that is a type of selfishness. Making religion serve me rather than me serving Allah. I go to the gods when I need something, when I want something. I need rain, I go to the rain god. There's an army coming to attack us, I go to the god of protection, to the god of war, to the god of the mountains. It's transactional. It becomes a transactional type of faith. I give something to a god, and that god gives me something back. It's consumer driven. It's not God driven. You want a child? You create a god of fertility and then you sacrifice and you pray. You want wealth? You create a god of wealth and then you make dua to them. You want health? You create a god of health. You want rain? You create a god of rain. You want conquest? You create a god of war. And life becomes about what I want, my needs, my desires. Now, I want to be clear. There's nothing wrong about wanting any of these things. There's nothing wrong with wanting blessings from Allah. There's nothing wrong with wanting health and wealth and family and crops and there's nothing wrong with any of that. There's nothing wrong with any of that. The problem is when that becomes the focus of our faith and we take Allah out of the equation altogether. And this idea that if I don't get something that I want out of religion, then there's something wrong with the religion and I need to change it so that I get what I need out of this. Right? Now here's the real punchline. What those people were actually worshiping was their own desires. Their hawa, the Quran calls it. Hawa is your desires. And that's what they were really worshiping with all of this. That's what's really behind polytheism. Their Hawa is their God. Whatever it is that I want, that I need today, that's my God. That's the first lesson for us to take from it. There's a second lesson. Right? So the first lesson, the most important one, do not make your desires your God. Life is about worshiping God. Life is not about getting everything that we want out of life. Sometimes Allah answers your dua, sometimes He doesn't. But we should worship Him the same nonetheless. And when we get disappointed, when we don't get what we want, we think that there's something wrong with faith or something wrong with Allah, now we have corrupted religion. We have become like the people who worship their hawa, who worship their desires. Second lesson. Religion is under attack these days. Islam is under attack, right? There's nothing special, unique about Islam. We're under attack just like everybody else. True religion, Tawheed, is about serving Allah. Be careful about corrupting religion just to serve us. What do I want? What makes me comfortable? Those are not the questions that we should be asking. What does Allah want? What is the purpose of my existence? Those are the questions that we should be asking. Are we going to change religion just so we can fit in? I think that's the modern day type of shirk. Right? We're not going to create stones and idols and God of right. We're not going to do that. But what is a real possibility is that we change Islam so we can fit in. We change Islam to make life easier for us. Growing up, why don't you have a girlfriend? Oh my goodness, the number of times I got asked that. You get tired of having to explain yourself. You fast for how long? Not even water? Oh my God, that's torture. Why don't you just eat something? Like nobody's watching. You can't drink, bro? In college, like I heard that almost on a daily basis. Just drink, it's so much fun, right? I heard this over and over and over again, but this is the reality of it. It's very easy to say, well, you know what, we live in the West. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Are we going to dilute our religion so we can fit in? Are we going to dilute Islam to make life easier, to make it more appealing? That's the real shirk of today that we have to be wary of. I'll give you one last point. Anthropologists are scientists who study human society, right? How do individuals interact with one another, and how do things change over time? Anthropologists take the position that human beings started ignorant. Right? 1,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, we didn't know a whole lot. We couldn't do a whole lot. We didn't accomplish a whole lot. And over time, we got more and more advanced to where we are today. The Quran tells us the opposite has happened. We started off with Tawheed. Religion was just for Allah. And then it got corrupted over time. Right? Because anthropologists only deal with the seen world. Let me look at North America, let me look at Asia, let me look at the Muslims and the seen world, the known history. But as people of faith, we know that there's an unseen world. There's an unseen world, and we have to take that into account as well. We should advance in this life. Don't get me wrong. We should be the best scientists, engineers. We should be the best at everything. That's ihsan. Striving to be the best at everything. The Prophet ﷺ was a very successful businessman. We should strive to be the best, but we don't sacrifice the afterlife in the process. Right? That's the big difference for us, is we're not going to sacrifice the afterlife in the process. Further, I forgot what I was going to say. Right? So there's the seen world and the unseen world, And we know that there is both. And we don't want to sacrifice one for the other. And here's the thing, okay, I just remembered, alhamdulillah. The polytheists, those people who made life, who made religion transactional. I'll give something to God, but I need to get something in return, right? Those who made it transactional. What they don't realize is if they had just kept Islam the way it's supposed to be, it would have been the ultimate transaction for them. Because the transaction you're going to get in the afterlife, wow, so much better than anything that you can get in this life, right? Don't look to get the best transaction now. Right now, we're in saving mode. We're depositing towards the afterlife. And brothers and sisters, it's okay. Let the kids have some fun. Alhamdulillah, it's nice to have kids here. Let them enjoy themselves and look forward to coming to Jummah. It's okay. Jazakallah. That's our approach as people of faith. We strive to be the best in this world, but we know that the real best comes in the afterlife. Strive to be the best at everything in this life, but do not sacrifice the afterlife in the process. Oh Allah, we ask that you accept our praying, our fasting, our charity, and all our good deeds. Oh Allah, we ask that you help us excel in this life and the next life. Oh Allah, we ask that you let us die on La ilaha illallah. Oh Allah, we ask that you keep us close as a community and fill our hearts with love, tenderness, and mercy for one another. Oh Allah, we ask that you judge us by the best of our actions and give us the highest of Jannah in the afterlife. Oh Allah, we ask that you make us amongst those who are considered the pious and Ashab al-Yameen. Wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. Peace and blessings be upon your messenger. Wa aqim as-salah. Dear brothers and sisters, when we are at our lowest and we have our heads to the ground, supplicate to Allah the highest. That is one of the best times to make dua.